Good morning. We are here for the daily drop-in every single morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. The Teach Better team goes live and we get to talk shop. You guys already know how this works. We have a theme every single week trying to talk shop around relevant hot topics to support you heading back into the classroom. I am with the amazing Meghan. I am so excited that you're live with me. I feel like I've been looking forward to this all week to just obviously to talk shop, but kind of like to catch up because I haven't talked too much. And you've gone through a ton of transition. You're back in the classroom. We have a ton to talk about. You guys already know how this works. Obviously, we just pop in live. Make sure that you have your full cup of coffee. Feel free to listen to us while you're getting ready for the day or driving to work. We're here to support you any way we can, but we'll be right back. We have some good news coming your way. There's a lot to celebrate today. And then we'll dive into our theme this week, which is all about building authentic relationships. So let's get started. Meghan, how you doing?
I am doing well. It is Thursday and I get to come on here and catch up with you. I feel like I've been so just not around and not connected lately because I've had so much going on.
Well, we have a ton to catch up on, and I just felt like you were going to be such a wonderful fit talking about how to build relationships with students, not only in obviously your strategies and things that you've seen work in the past. I mean, holy cow, you're entering in your 10th year of teaching right now, but also just because you've been back in the classroom for a few weeks, you can tell us actually not what you intend to do, but what you have already done. And I'm excited to get into all that, but it's so wonderful to start our mornings with the daily drop-in. Get people's headspace in the right spot and, slowly get ready for the day. I hope you guys have your coffee. Good morning. We hope that you are getting ready for the day and waking up. Meghan, I know we were talking about when we kind of popped on before we went live that we're a little sleepy, right? Thursday morning. But there is nothing like teacher tired the first few weeks of school. So I am sending you all of my energy and all my good vibes, Meghan. I just want you to know.
I need all that, especially by Thursday, Friday. I need all the energy.
Seriously, I think that Thursday nights are the worst only because I just feel like all my energy is sucked out Thursday night. And then you're like, all right, guys, I don't have anything left, but I'm going to give everything I possibly have for a good Friday. So we are just sending good vibes to all of our network members. That's huge.
Need it.
Meghan, you've been a part of the team forever. I don't actually remember a time when we had the Teach Better team without you a part of it, to be completely honest. But in case somebody is new to the family, maybe hasn't connected with you yet, and you have a new role. So tell us a little bit about not only what you do with students, but then also what you do with the team.
Yeah, so I am now Meghan Hosey, but was Meghan Deegan. And I am a 7th grade math teacher in Nashville, Tennessee, which that's different now. So okay. Yeah, now I'm in Nashville. That's fun. Little different than Illinois. But I'm still with my 7th grade math, which I love. And I am also the ambassador program coordinator for the Teach Better team.
Man, so you've been at a school in the Chicagoland area, and then you moved to Nashville, Tennessee, which, by the way, I feel like anytime anybody hears this, you must get the same reaction of people being like, oh my God, that sounds so wonderful. Everybody loves Nashville, Tennessee. And then you went from 7th grade math just to a different 7th grade math at a different building. That's got to be nice.
I got so lucky. Obviously, moving states, I was kind of in the, I just need a job. And, sure. Anything would have been fine. But I was obviously really hoping for 7th grade. And I got super lucky and ended up in 7th grade. So it has been amazing.
And you have started school already. I know we've been talking to educators since we brought back the daily drop-in, some of which literally went back the first week of August, some of which you don't go back till mid-September, you've been back.
Yeah, my first day with kids was August 5th, I believe. So I've been back since I've been back since around July 26th. So,
and in addition to that, obviously very exciting thing, you have moved, gotten married, and accomplished, all things success. Like, I don't understand.
I guess I think I just told my husband, I was like, apparently we just do everything at one time. Yeah, it's moved down here in June, got married in July, and then after I finished my first week of school, we moved from our apartment to our house. Still moving, by the way, like that's happening slowly, but we are officially living in our house. So it has been all the things all at one time.
I heard, Meghan, you and I have always had this in common, that we are slightly dog obsessed, but like in a way that is still classy. And I heard that your dogs are for sale. I would love to take them. I just want you to know I love your dogs. And so if they're up for sale, please sign me up. I'd love to take them.
I love them, and I remind myself that I love them before I walk in the door every day, because they are just like I am. They are transitioning to a new house, and honestly, they're transitioning to me being back at work full time. I have been super lucky, and although I was back in person last year, it was like half days and wasn't until January. So they are very much used to having someone home with them and not being alone for a lot of hours in a strange house that they don't know, in a state that they are not, used to yet. And so they've turned into some chewers, but we're working on it.
Well, I do want to just send a service announcement. The dogs aren't actually for sale, but I feel like for the right price, I could convince you that I deserve them to come to my house. So I'm going to start a bidding war with anybody in the comments. If you want to compete with me, I'm in. Otherwise, I love your puppies. I love that you and I have a little bit of a problem with how much we adore our dogs. So these are good things, Meghan. This is all good things. Everything just needs to get settled is what I'm hearing. Like, people just need to settle in. New environment, new school year, new home. The puppies will adapt.
Yes, they will. I hope so. Come back to me in a month, and they might, if they're still for sale in a month, then we got some problems. But
exactly. Alex says $2. I'm going way higher than that. I'm starting with $15. That's 2 dogs. Your dogs are big size too. I'm just saying. I'm willing to go pretty high, but if we're going to start low, $2 is far too low. It's offensive. $1 a dog is definitely not enough.
Yeah, one of them, just at least for the problems I feel like I should pay you for the problems they're going to cause. But
all right. So in addition to that, Meghan, I just wanted to touch on, I know you said you do so much with the ambassador program. I personally don't feel like you give yourself enough credit about the ambassador program. Like, guys, just to actually tell the story the way it happened, I met Meghan through, I don't know, we just connected for you. You were connecting to the Teach Better team. We hopped on a phone call a few times to talk about the grid method. I brought you donuts one time, which was like the highlight of my life. And then you came to us and said, I think we should have an ambassador program. I'm appointing myself on the team. I'm going to spend 12 months building an ambassador program with Andrea. And we kind of looked at you and we're like, okay, sounds good. And you went, and it was an entire 12 months that we created this ambassador program and launched it to our network. And now we have Teach Better ambassadors applications open about once a year to be able to apply. And you lead the pack. It's unbelievable how much this program has evolved over time.
It really is. I tell the ambassadors all the time that Andrea and I, although we created this program, never in a million years could have imagined it being what it is now. That's all credit to our ambassadors and who they are and, what they bring to the program every day, because they are incredible. I love it. I get the best of both worlds. I get to, hang out during the day with my 7th graders, which is just my favorite thing ever. But I also get to connect with all of these incredible educators, and it's amazing.
We have a lot of ambassadors right now commenting with their love in the chats. We are streaming right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, or you might be listening to this after the fact on Teach Better Talk podcast. But I love the comments coming through of people interacting. We always have ambassadors that show up for us. It's so stinking fun. And that program isn't just, the opportunity to be able to say you're a Teach Better ambassador, but Meghan, there's so many pieces that you and Andrea have worked to incorporate. There's tracking pages. You earn points. There's prizes that are constantly being given away. There are discounts on professional development. There's just first opportunities to get involved in things with the team. You guys just launched a mentor program where new ambassadors get partnered with a mentor as they get started. I just think like there's so much more that we can do with this program. The opportunities just are seemingly endless, but so wonderful that we're able to celebrate the incredible people that are a part of the network. And I don't know, I just feel like the ambassadors are like the best of the best good people. Like anytime I need some good vibes, I go to ambassadors. Those are my people.
Absolutely. They are literally incredible. It's always, and it's such a great group too, because it's such a collective group and so many different perspectives. And so I think like that's my favorite part is I'm like, wait, I need help with this, or I need an idea for this. And within 5 minutes, I am just like flooded with like a just variety of ideas. So it's an incredible group.
Well, and Brienne wants me to make sure that I comment on the exclusive PD. That's new this year, that you guys are providing exclusive professional development, not only opportunities just to like bring the Teach Better team to their district at a lower cost, but exclusive PD that they're getting. Isn't there something with Kevin Butler coming up soon for them?
So excited. Yeah. Every month we have an exclusive ambassador exclusive PD.
Yeah.
We record it for our ambassadors who miss it. So it is always available for them. And the best part is it's based on what they want. So Brienne and Bree have done a phenomenal job of really surveying and finding out what our ambassadors want and need and making that happen. So super excited for Kevin Butler next week. That is going to be incredible.
So cool. Anyway, we didn't mean for this to be an ad for ambassadors. I just think that out of all the like subgroups of the Teach Better team, right? Like you have the podcasters, the Teach Better Podcast Network, you have the speakers network for the Teach Better team. You have our guest bloggers are outstanding. We have those that participate in all of our masterminds. Oh my God, guys, there's so many more masterminds coming. I'm just giving you a heads up, like be warned. But the ambassadors is just such a fun crew. So shout out to all of our ambassadors. And Meghan, I just think it's incredible that you and Andrea built such a fabulous program to support teachers all over the world. I mean, literally, our ambassadors are all over the world. That's amazing to me. So cool to see. Meghan, we have a lot to celebrate today. Can we get into some celebrations and some good news?
Yeah, that's like the best part of the day.
But yeah, I'm really excited. Let's start with that. All right, we have some ambassadors in the comments that are looking for some action to be happening this morning in the comments. So if you're live with us right now, put your finger over the cursor or, move the mouse pad, however you're watching this. We are looking for the ambassadors to share other ways that they're involved in the team. We have a lot of overlap in just not even ambassadors, but people that are involved with the team sometimes are involved in multiple ways, right? They guest blog with us and they also are a podcaster, or maybe they're a podcaster, but they also participate in a mastermind. Yeah, let us know. You're getting a lot of love in the comments though, Meghan, that you're kind of like the best leader with Andrea. So just saying, that doesn't surprise me.
They make it easy. So.
Okay, I'm refusing to put my coffee down this morning because I just need like 4 more of these. But I won't lie, Meghan. Every single day, I get this beautiful sheet of paper from Rachel. Shout out to Rachel on the Teach Better team. And I asked her, I was like, can you give me goofy holidays, serious holidays, all things that we can kind of find something to celebrate every single day? And she kind of went like obnoxiously above and beyond, right? She gave me a list of like 5 things every day that exist. I'm like, okay. So I've been choosing one, like yesterday, National Fajita Day, always a good celebration, right? Today though, I couldn't limit them. We have to celebrate everything that today is. There's too many good ones. I can't just pick one.
I like it. Celebrate it all.
So first one, Aviation Day, always a good thing. We also have World Photography Day. I'm kind of a sucker for like art and photography. So I will be all over Instagram and Pinterest today, soaking up and celebrating World Photography Day. It's also World Humanitarian Day, always a good thing. Love that is something that we can celebrate today. And then maybe most importantly, and I don't want to belittle the others because they're all so great, but today's National Potato Day. And I just feel like that's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal. That's like one of my just food groups by itself.
I consider French fries their own food group, much less, to be included in the other avenues of potato. I just really feel like today is something we're celebrating. We had a huge conversation with Hunter yesterday about how to celebrate National Fajita Day. I feel like Potato Day has the same excitement and cause for celebration.
Yeah, again, I just love potatoes in general, any of them and all of them. I'm just thinking of all the ways I can incorporate potatoes now into my day.
I was gonna say, do you have plans for like lunch or dinner? Can we throw some potatoes in there?
I mean, ironically, I could be wrong, but I think I'm having for lunch. I had Olive Garden last night, so I think I'm having some chicken and gnocchi soup, and like gnocchi counts as potato, right?
Yeah, gnocchi's typically made of potato, isn't it? That makes sense.
Perfect. There you go. It's already in my lunch, and I can definitely incorporate them into my dinner. So
I love it. Good. Bree is commenting that she prefers sweet potatoes. It's okay, Bree. You can be wrong every so often. That's no big deal. We appreciate it. No, I like sweet potatoes. You cannot beat a French fry. Like, you want to put sweet potatoes up against like mashed potatoes? Fine, maybe. But you can't compete against a French fry. I just think we should all have a French fry today. That seems like. Do you think there's a National French Fry Day?
I'm like almost positive there's got to be a National French Fry Day, which I feel like needs to be like something we celebrate more. So like we need to figure out when that is, and that's a big deal.
Somebody needs to Google it. I know you guys can multitask. Somebody go Google when National French Fry Day is. For potato, I guess we'll offer a variety of options, right? The gnocchi is a great choice. Mashed potatoes are always good. All right. If there's a National French Fry Day that we can celebrate exclusively, then I will be more versatile for the potato day. Bree says it's July 13th. Are you sure? Is it July 13th? That's awesome. Becky is giving a shout out to her fellow Irish Americans that are celebrating National Potato Day.
Woohoo!
I love it. Sorry, Van. We didn't mean to make you hungry. Van's saying that we're making him hungry. Sorry.
Can I also share that I have a health assessment today for like my insurance or whatever? So I have to fast until 11 a.m. So like I feel like I'm hungry. I feel bad for my first two classes because I'm going to be hangry by then.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, because you will have taught all morning and then have to go do that, right?
Yes. So luckily I'm doing it on my plan. So I'm literally going to go do that and then like shove food in my face before my next class. But
all right. So some good news for today. I know, Megan, that we prefer dogs, but there was a really good cat story that we're going to share for our good news today. So as we think about good news, obviously we share this to not only brighten each and every one of your days, but also to bring some good conversation as something that you could begin with a colleague or with students to dive into. This I thought was really cute because it has to do with an animal. It says, a black cat meow led rescuers to an 83-year-old owner after she fell into a ravine. So it says, black cats may have a reputation for being bad luck, but don't tell the owner of this feline as it helped her save her life. The kitty I'm paraphrasing here. The cat mom was living in a rural area in England when the 83-year-old woman went missing. Neighbors launched a search party going all over the countryside and the surrounding community until searchers caught sight of a cat meowing loudly by a ravine. It says the cat was very attached to her. He kept going back and forth, trying to meow and get other people's attention, and they saved her life. So she is okay. She's healthy. She's resting, and I'm pretty sure she's pretty loyal to that cat if she wasn't already.
Yeah, that is a really good story. Again, we are more partial to dogs, but I do love myself some cats. They're cute.
You love cats. I mean, any loyal animal is fun, right? Any loyal animal that can make for a good story is always good. And I did have a cat at one point in my life. I don't know that I consider myself a cat person, but I had a cat named Joe. And it was actually Old Man Joe is what I called him because I adopted him when he was 9 years old and he had no teeth. And so I felt like he needed to have like a funny name. So Old Man Joe was the best cat. I'm just saying he was a rock star. him and Harvey were best buds. So they were a good duo together. Yeah.
So cute.
Gotta love it. It'll be good. As you guys are thinking through how you can use your good news story, right, to celebrate what you're doing with students today, or start a conversation in the hallway with a colleague. I mean, Meghan, you are working in a brand new building. How is it going, kind of like fostering relationships with your colleagues as you are working in a building of, new staff members?
It's going really well. I was a little nervous at first just because I had missed a couple things, being that I didn't move down here, until a certain time, and was still doing summer school and all the other things. But my colleagues have been so incredibly welcoming and nice, and anything I need, they answer. I have all the questions right now because I've had worked in my previous building for 5 years, so I have forgotten what it's like to be learning a new building while also, starting the beginning of a year. So that was obviously a combo that I haven't had to do in a while. And I have a new curriculum this year, and we've changed the order up of what I'm used to in 7th grade. So it's all been good things. It's just been, there have been a lot of questions, and they have just been the nicest, the most patient, and the most helpful. So it's been really great. I'm super lucky.
Can I ask you specifically, and I know that we're going to get into discussing relationships further when we transition to our brainstorm bank, but I think the hardest part about starting a school year, I know new curriculum, new leadership, new students, probably new community, all those things are hard. The worst part, the worst feeling is stepping into Institute Day and needing to figure out where to sit. How did you do that? How did you handle that? It's so tricky. I don't know. It sounds so silly and so simple, but picking your seat the first day, sitting next to somebody and introducing yourself, that's just hard.
So I actually got super lucky in that aspect. And it was when I think about this now, I think that it's a great way to take the pressure off of that. So my admin actually put together, so we had 3 Institute days. And my admin put together a Edge Olympics. And so each department was a color. Mm-hmm. And so the math department was red, and they had, the department lead for each team really took the lead and reached out. I mean, they had reached out to me and were like, so what size shirt are you? And they had red shirts. It was really cute, total math nerdy, but mine was the square root of 49 because I teach 7th grade. But it was actually kind of cool too, because then I was looking at the other math teachers and I was like, oh, okay, so you teach 6th grade, you teach 8th grade. So that was super helpful.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to figure out where to sit because they had breakfast in the morning, and I just kind of sat with some of the newer teachers that I had met at New Teacher. And then it was okay, your team is going to gather now. And my team was here's a poster, here's a flag, and we went in and the library was decorated. So the entire math team was sitting together. So I felt that took a lot of pressure off of it, because they were just no, we're all sitting together as a team. This is just what we're doing. So.
Right. And you're not only looking at, you making the effort to meet someone new, but the environment being set up for you to feel comfortable. I mean, even just the visuals of knowing that you're with the red group, right? Or having the things on the shirt so you don't have to go to somebody and have to remember, what do you teach? What grade level? I mean, being able to figure that out through a fun math equation, those are so simple little steps that you can take the first day, the first week, at the first professional development, even if it's halfway through the year, to help people feel comfortable, putting them in groups before they even have the opportunity to kind of determine where they're sitting. I mean, that's a great avenue to set them up for success.
Yeah, it was really nice. And it was, they started us out with a challenge right away. So it was kind of, we didn't have, there was no time to really stop and think about a lot of things. It was okay, you're doing this challenge with your team. Good luck, so yeah. It was fun.
Oh, I love that. You guys, we're going to transition into our brainstorm bank so we can continue to have discussion around relationships. Our entire week is focused on relationships, and not only the concept. Yes, we know relationships are first and foremost as we enter back into the classroom, but we want to make sure we give you strategies, activities, ideas for what you can do to not only build relationships with your students and your stakeholders, but also your colleagues and your leadership and everything in between. So we'll be right back as we transition into our brainstorm bank. Get your questions ready. All right, you guys know how this works for our brainstorm bank. You can head over to teachbetter.com/brainstorm bank and submit a question at any time throughout your day. If you have a topic that you want us to discuss on Daily Drop-In, this could be topics around the Teach Better team, around our weekly theme, or just around any idea that you're trying to brainstorm to find the right solution for your classroom and your community with your students. We are continuously this week focusing on relationships because we know it's important, but we also want to not just talk about it in general sense, but actually get into like the nitty gritty of how to make it successful. So if you're live with us now, if you're more than welcome to share your ideas in the comments, ask your questions. But Meghan, as you were just sharing around your administration and your departments, getting ready to welcome you as a new staff member into the building, your focus on them creating a safe environment for you to know where to sit and kind of make friends easily is something that we not only should be doing for new staff, but translates beautifully into any new student or at the beginning of the year that you can set up for our kiddos as well. Did you do anything at the beginning of the year to help students find their seat or find, like their fit the first day?
So I love to let my kids pick their seats. It kind of, gives me a hint of, who their friends are in the classroom, and also gives me a really great idea that first day of whether or not they can work well. But, I also we have a lot of conversations at the first few days about math and how they feel. And I tell them very blatantly that I was always good at math, which is why I chose to teach it, but I was terrible at the other subjects. So, I'm always however you feel about math, I can absolutely relate to that because I've been there and I felt that. So just trying to make them feel comfortable in general in that way. And then again, I let them pick their seats, and, I've got some assigned seats now and some that are still picking. So it just kind of depends on where we're at. And I know Alex just brought up seating charts. I do have to have seating charts. Mm-hmm. So I do have to change them. They are fluidly changing right now. Yeah. Because I just have to be able to contact trace. But, we have that conversation of we can move our seats around. I just need to have it written each day of who's where. So we picked our seats and we try to stay there. So it's not as fluid as my normal classroom is, where they can come in and really day to day sit where they want and sit on the floor and all that. They have a little bit of movement, but there's a lot of, because of contact tracing, there's a lot of, we try to stay where we sit day to day.
Well, and that makes sense. We're still very much in a phase of trying to transition out of the pandemic, but the opportunity for students to have a choice in where they sit does give you a lot of data as a teacher. We've been talking pretty consistently with the Daily Drop-In as we enter, the end of our third week of the Daily Drop-In being our morning show that happens Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. Regardless of what our theme has been for each of these weeks, the concept of needing to adapt to our current situation has been prevalent. And, the opportunity that you have to kind of meet you and the safety rules kind of in the middle, where you can say, okay, I can offer this, but I still need to track, or I can offer that seats are a choice, but maybe they have to stick week to week. And, those types of adaptations are things that teachers are experiencing around the world right now. And, we just need to take it for what it is and do the best we can. But it makes sense that seating charts are going to be prevalent as we need to contact trace. So whether you're having students come into your classroom and pick their seat the first day, and then they have to stay there maybe for 2 weeks until they change again, you can kind of find that happy middle ground for sure.
Definitely.
So as you're thinking about, Meghan, fostering relationships, right? You entered a new school building. It sounds like they were so warm and welcoming. I love when that continues to be a focus for not only our students, but truly staff to staff, making sure that people feel supported and everything in between. what about the students? You know, you obviously let them pick their seats. You're trying to constantly collect data from them to get to know them. But you enter into a new building, you set up a new classroom. What have you done the last few weeks to build relationships? Do you have any like secret sauce or activities that you were like, oh my gosh, guys, this one worked super well. Definitely recommend it.
I mean, one of my favorite first day activities and Andrea and I have done this for the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. And we kind of got part of it from you. So we have always split our kids into houses. That is so much fun. And although it's not a school-wide thing, like each class is a different house. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, so it fits right in. But it's a really great motivator. And so one of the things that we started doing a couple of years ago, and I did it again this year, it's my favorite thing. And I'm probably a little crazy because they do it on day one. I do a breakout room with them. Literally, I don't know any of their names. I don't know who they are. This year I had to do it on day 2 because day 1 was we had a really shortened schedule. So I was never going to be able to do a full breakout with them in that short amount of time. So I did it on day 2, which was our, first day. I still did not know them. And yeah, they work in their groups and they break out into their houses to figure out what house they're in. So it's super fun. I redid questions I did like a just general math question that was multiplication. I did a math riddle. I did a question all about me since I had introduced myself the day before. So I was like, let's see how much you paid attention. And then I did one about they have 4 teachers on our team. So I did one about the 4 teachers just to help them get to know us. So they had a lot of fun. They really liked it. It's one of those, like, you do it and they're just engaged the whole time. Mm-hmm. And it's great. Like I just got to kind of walk around and hear the conversations and see them work. And, it's middle school. So you give them any sort of competition and they're in and it's great. But I also too, we really get to talk about like working together, like Andrew said, working together as a team and communicating. Because I tell them it's a huge thing for me when they come in my door. I don't need them to be best friends, but you will respect each other and you're going to have to work together. And there are going to be times where you may be working with someone that is not your favorite person. That's literally how it is in the real world sometimes. So we make it work and we learn how to communicate. And I think that that's a great activity to start it off. And again, I am all for the moving around and as engaging as possible. So that is absolutely one of my favorite activities. And I do tell them, because it is day 1 and I don't know them, I said, this kind of sets the tone of what we can do in the classroom this year. And if you show me that this is something that you can handle and it's fun, then this is something I will plan for you again.
So you have just shared like a cajillion things that I want to dive into. Not only the information you're collecting from students, the expectations you're setting right off the bat, the very high expectations you're setting right off the bat, but let's talk about breakout rooms, because that's something that, the opportunity to give students like a game to solve, a puzzle to solve in the classroom is one thing, but I know a lot of educators that have tried this and loved it or been too nervous to try a breakout. And we're not talking about like getting on a Google Meets call and using breakout rooms. That's not what we're discussing. This is like a fun, a mystery game. They're trying to solve the answer to clues to reach the next level of the game, the next step of the game, in hopes of reaching a conclusion that they're going to work together to solve. If you have not done this, they are all over, that you can go look up breakouts. They're really actually good activities to do with like family and friends if you're looking for a fun afternoon activity. But let's talk about this at a classroom level. So you essentially created a puzzle that you're asking the students to solve. Tell me a little bit about that experience of even getting started. Like, give me basics, like at the very beginning. How do you even get started doing that?
Yeah, so I do want to say, because I heard this from when some of my colleagues found out what I was doing and found out that I made it. They were like, what? And I was like, I promise you, it is not as hard as it seems. Like, it might seem super overwhelming. I promise it is not. So really where I started was with what I had. So I have done digital before, and I don't mind digital. I just, anytime I can, I prefer the actual box with the locks on it because I think that that is just so much more fun, in my opinion.
So to clarify, it's the difference of them like using a program on their laptop where they're like plugging in the numbers to see if the code works versus like physically changing and adapting a lock to get the code is what you're saying.
Yeah. So if you're doing it digitally, Google Forms is the way to go. It's super, it's not hard to throw a Google form together either with this. I just personally like the actual box with the locks.
Well, it's fun. I mean, if you have the ability to borrow locks from somebody or purchase them or do a donor's choose and get those resources, the physical use of changing a lock is so fun.
It is. And Andrea and I bought it literally looks like a small toolbox and 4 locks for that toolbox. And we bought this a couple of years ago, and I don't even remember how much we spent. It wasn't that much, but I can tell you that like if you can do it, it is so worth it because now we've used it for years, and I use it over and over and over again because that is the nice part about the locks. You can change the combinations. Right. So every time and that's really where I start is I have 2 number locks and 2 letter locks. So in my mind, when I'm doing this, whatever questions I'm asking, I somehow at the end need to have a 4-digit number code and a 4-digit letter code. So it really just became, what did I want to ask them, especially being the first day of school? Like, it has to be pretty basic because I don't expect them to know much of anything that we're going to be doing. So I stuck with multiplication because they're 7th graders. Like, that is something they can do. And I just made the answer a 4-digit number. Sure. I stuck with one of my other ones. What was one of my other ones? Oh, I did like a riddle. Like, the first number is double the 2nd digit, and it was a 4-digit number. I found that one online because I Googled it. So like, again, it's a lot of things is not me making it up. And then when it came to the letters, I was like, well, they know their teachers by now because they have a schedule with our names on it. Mm-hmm. So I just and mine was super simple. I said, like, who is your math teacher? Who is your ELA teacher? And I have like spots where they fill it in. And one of the spots is like highlighted in red. So like, that's the letter they need to use from each name. Okay. And so my thing, and what I've learned with 7th graders, because this was an Andrea and I mistake the first time we did this, and we learned and we corrected. The first time we did this, we had our lockbox, and anytime a group solved one, they could come up and try it. And so before we knew it, we had like 7 groups and we had 28 kids all trying to work on one lockbox. This was pre-COVID, thank goodness. But we were like, this is not really great. And we weren't going to go buy a bunch of boxes and locks. So now what we do with them is I just give them a sheet to record their answers. And once they show me that they have all 4 of the correct locks, then they get to go as a group to the box and unlock it. So they're not all at the box, but
yeah, there's a lot of pieces to this. And so I want to like kind of dive into that. One is there is a classroom management element of providing your students with a mystery game that they need to solve, right? Regardless of what that is. So whatever classroom management best fits your abilities or best fits your students, that's a great reflection point if you're choosing to chase after something like this. What I really like is that you have a combination of pieces of the puzzle that you created and pieces of the puzzle that exist online. There are a lot of resources online related to breakouts. And while you may not have the physical resources to do so, even just the digital options, there are so many breakouts that you can have students go through an experience. So if you're looking to dabble a little bit, that could be a good option for you. I also know of a number of communities. So depending on where you're located, if you're listening to this now, I'd love to have you reach out to me. There are a number of communities that have breakout boxes you can rent that they'll either ship to you or you can go pick up all the resources of the breakout. You can use it with your students, put everything back in the box and deliver it back, and they take care of all the cleaning and the organization and the puzzle work. So depending on the type of educator you are, where you're located, this could be a really wonderful opportunity for you to bring something into your classroom to help your students either learn content more or practice those team building activities. I think that's so powerful. And when you're talking about this, Meghan, they're not only trying to solve the codes, but you kind of have hidden, I assume, depending on what type of breakout you're doing, you've hidden the clues all over. So sometimes they're trying to open 2 or 3 boxes, and inside the box is just like the next clue for the next piece. So they're constantly kind of working in a collaborative environment to identify, do they have enough information to even solve the clue that's in front of them? And, you know, can they work together to search around the room for clues or open certain steps and understand that those steps are going to lead them in a different direction? So this is a really great way to get students engaged in a full class.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. The kids love it every year. It's so much fun. And I do it multiple times throughout the year. You know, I keep bringing in other ones, whether I make them or whether I find them. I use them as review a lot of times, because in my thought, like, the problems that I'm going to have them already do, why not just like make those all the clues, and when they solve them, so to me, it's just, it's a super fun and engaging way. And I love the team building, because they have to communicate. They have to be able to talk about what they're doing and, you know, work together to solve these riddles and come up with these answers, which is so much fun. And I don't know, I feel like if this seems overwhelming, like, I would be more than happy to talk to anybody that wants to plan one, or anybody that is, you know, thinking about it, but not sure where to start and how to do it, because they are so much fun. And I promise, once you do the first one, you're like, oh, okay, like, this is not as like overwhelming as I thought it was going to be.
I have to say, I have done a ton of these. Like, I don't know if that's a ton. I've done more than 10 of these. And with middle schoolers, I've seen the fun. I mentally cannot figure out where my block is, but I just do not understand how to design these. I know that you just explained it. Even as you explained it, Meghan, I'm like, that makes sense. I can do that. For whatever reason, holy cow, my brain doesn't work this way. So I've had so many other educators that have collaborated with me that have done the parts that I'm not good at. And so if you're an educator right now thinking, like, go to Meghan, or Katie Miglin on our team does breakouts all the stinking time. Go to somebody that can give you kind of that inside scoop of how to design it and problem solve with you, and give you all the resources, maybe some website links that they can connect you with to, you know, like go find these resources without having to make them. I would love to talk to you about classroom management or some other pieces of it that I also really enjoy. But holy cow, these puzzles are so much fun, but my brain hurts every time. And I just like laugh through it with the students because I'm so stinking confused.
It is. It's so much fun. I will say too, like, when Andrea and I started this, we were connected with somebody who had done this. It was actually at, we had gone to Summer Spark and sat in a session about them. And that's where we were like, okay, we're going to do this. And so, like, we connected with an educator that had been doing this. And so we were like, all right, we need you to walk us through step by step. And that was really, really helpful building our first one.
Well, and so Megan Wells is commenting here, and she's like, the issue is giving myself enough time. And Megan, I don't know if you're thinking like enough time to plan it, like to actually put all the pieces together, or enough time to actually do the breakout, because they always take a little bit longer than you think. I feel like I'm constantly like, oh, they can get this done in a class hour. And then by the end of the class hour, they're not done yet. So there is, of course, that management element, but giving yourself enough time in terms of planning, which it looks like Megan's commenting, she's talking about planning. I think that there's a number of different ways to approach that. Anytime you're doing something with your students that you know is going to take upfront work, you not only want to give yourself enough time to be forward thinking, to say, okay, I want to accomplish this at the end of the unit, maybe that we're studying. We're going to give our students the opportunity to do a review game together. You know, how can I give myself enough time to see when that might happen? But also, a lot of planning these days can be done in collaboration with other people that aren't physically around you, using online tools and resources, and collaborating with educators that are outside of your community. Like Megan is pointing to herself right now on the screen, kind of gives you the option of not being the only one needing to put something large together. I think that's kind of the fun part of, regardless of what you teach, but choosing to be a connected educator, where it might take you a long time to plan. Is there somebody that maybe already has half of it done because they teach similar content or have a similar passion area that you want to bring to your students. So really think about who you're connected to and how they can help you be successful as well. I won't lie. I have not done a breakout myself in ages. I think we all should do a breakout together somehow. Like, how do we make that happen?
We should do like a Teach Better team breakout, because that would just be fun.
I know. And like we've done even like we do a monthly get together with members of the Teach Better team that is virtual because we're obviously located all across North America. And I don't know how we do it. Like we have a hangout on Friday. Like, can we do?
We just go into like you just do like breakout rooms, and that would be like their teams, and then it could be a Google form. Well, it's like what we did.
We did do it for a Facebook group get together, right?
Becky, where are you at? Becky.
I know. Becky Thal, are you with us right now? We need you to, she's in the comments, or she was earlier.
Yeah.
We did a Facebook exclusive event. If you guys are not a part of our Facebook group, go to teachbettergroup.com and you can join. The only like parameters that you're an educator. So trust me, if you're listening right now at 6:45 Central Time, you're an educator. But we did it during the popcorn hangout, didn't we? Like where people got together and we did a breakout.
Yes, and it was super funny because I was just talking to Becky like 2 days ago, and she said something about like my breakout planning partner or something. So Becky,
I think that we need to plan another get together. Well, we can make it exclusive to the Facebook event only if all of you go join the Facebook group, because we want you all right now to be a part of this. But we could do another one and we could model a breakout. We could even utilize some like basic stuff in terms of like content, like incorporate math, incorporate some skills with that they might use in the classroom to like model how you can blend in the content. I think that would be cool.
Absolutely. I am all for that.
All right, we're going to figure this out, guys. This will be fun. Anywho, more importantly, related back to our theme of relationships, what a perfect example, Meghan. I don't know that you did this intentionally, but we're talking about the opportunity to build relationships and like this tactical strategies somebody can go take right now and go apply. Really, the theme of today has continuously been fostering collaborative environments for people to build relationships, right? When you put people in a room and you face them all the same direction and you talk at them, whether it be a staff meeting or even working with students, it's hard to build relationships not only with the facilitator and the student, but even student to student or colleague to colleague, because really they're just watching you talk at them. What you've displayed in the past hour of our daily drop-in discussion is how your staff and how you have fostered this environment in your classroom of getting people up and moving and talking. And that is one of the easiest ways to get those relationships started. So I love that you created this theme, Meghan. Was that all planned? Did you do this intentionally?
Of course.
Of course. Of course. Guys, don't forget our daily drop-in happens every single morning, Monday through Friday. And we are truly here just to be a sounding board. So we're going to continue to reflect on relationships, what we can do to foster strong relationships, not only with our students and parents, but also our stakeholders all week long. Tomorrow, we have Brad Hughes joining us. He's going to be a staple in our Friday daily drop-in. So he's now back on his normal schedule, joining us tomorrow. I can only imagine that he's going to have some ideas on how to continue to kind of wrap up this idea of relationships. Brad's not only an ambassador with us, he's involved in like 1.5 million ways. But he also is an elementary principal, and I feel like they are rock stars at making sure those relationships are strong and warm.
They really are. He's going to be incredible, and he's going to have a lot of great insight.
Yes. Before we transition, Meghan, I know that you have a full school day ahead of you and a lot of other pieces in your busy schedule. But do you mind if we highlight preview a little bit of what next week's going to look like?
Absolutely.
All right. So next week is going to be a doozy. I know I said that we had Brad Hughes tomorrow. That will close out our week. We'll continue to foster that conversation on relationships and obviously anything else that you guys need. We are popping into a full weekend, and then we are getting into kind of some tips and tricks on how to start and end your day. So we're talking about like bookends to your day. The reason we thought this was relevant is because we know a lot of you have already gotten in the swing of working with students, And I know the secret that all of your routines are going out the window. You guys are snoozing your alarms, you're staying late at school, you are swamped with your to-do list, and you know that all those routines go away even though they are what's best for you. So we're going to be diving into how to start your morning strong and how to end your afternoon strong so that you are not only taking care of yourself, but you're getting those reminders of those practices not to let go of even when you're really busy. Meghan, have you found, you've been in classroom for 2 weeks so far this year, are you like dropping the ball on getting 8 hours of sleep and all that stuff that you know you should be doing?
Yeah, those of you that like know me know that I love to work out, and I don't think I've worked out in like a month. And it's mentally, it shows. But you know, it's just, we talked about this before we came on. I've literally never, it's been a while since I have felt this overwhelmed all the time. But I will say too, a realization that I had, because I was like, every time I cross something off my to-do list, I feel like I have to add 5 more things. It's a combination of just being new to my district and having a new set of curriculum. I know my 7th grade curriculum, taught it a million times, but now it's in a different order and it's new, and it's new for everyone, thankfully. So I'm not the only one in that boat. But I think I was last week was my first full week with kids. I was putting a lot of pressure on myself. I was like, this is year 10. I know I'm in a new school, but why am I feeling this way? Like, I should not feel this overwhelmed. And after hearing a couple of my colleagues last week, it was like last Friday, and they were like, thank goodness it's Friday. Like, this has just been a week. And I'm like, I'm not the only one feeling this way. Like, this is just the beginning of a school year. And this is the beginning of a school year where we didn't have this last year, most of us. So there is so much going on. You know, we're still in a pandemic. I still am left and right getting kids to need to be on Google Meet because there's quarantining. So, you know, it happens. And so I'm super excited to listen next week because I need to figure out how to get myself back on my routine.
I know I'm a little intimidated by this list because I don't know that I have good morning and afternoon routines. And so I'm always interested when people tell me what I should be doing and actually if it will fit into my day-to-day schedule. Jeff Gargis is obviously kicking us off Monday morning. That's pretty typical that Jeff Gargis is a part of our Mondays. And I assume that he's going to get into let's make some predictions, Meghan. Jeff is going to give suggestions on morning routine for sure. He has a terrible night routine, by the way. If you're listening now, you should bombard him with night questions because he's awful. So that would be a good way to get him. I'm guessing he's going to focus on like goal setting in the morning and drinking water. That's my prediction. That's always his go-to.
Yep. All
right. So Tuesday is then with, shocker, Lindsay Titus. Okay. You know that she's going to be focusing on morning routines, although I don't know if I've heard her evening routine suggestions. Maybe we'll push her on that a little bit. But she is all about setting your morning routine. I am making a prediction that Shouldville is going to come up and that she's going to focus in one of my favorite areas that I've heard her speak in designing your morning routine to serve you, not to serve somebody else. I think that is going to be the theme. That's my prediction. Wednesday, terrible idea. Wednesday is going to be with Dr. Brian Zwemke. He's a principal at a high school. And I'm making a prediction, guys. He's obsessed with his Peloton. I'm guessing that that's going to come up. But I don't know that he has an evening routine either. So all these people, I only know their morning routines. Why is that?
I think, you know what? I think it is that, I know so many people's morning routines because I see it on Instagram in the morning.
Oh.
And I think that that's like really shared because that's like starting your day off right.
Right.
And I think that they do have afternoon routines, but my guess is that a lot of their afternoon routines kind of change depending on how their day goes. Like some days you just need more of something than others. And so I think the afternoon is a little bit more fluid, probably based on like where you're at and what your need is that day.
Right. It could also be like days of the week that are different, right? Like Tuesday, you're taking your daughter to dance class, but Wednesday you're going to a church youth group activity, right? Like, so that might also change your afternoon. That'll be good to dive into. Thursday, we are live with, Mike. Mike's coming live with us. So he's going to be able to share. I don't know anything about Mike's morning or afternoon routine. So that will be so fun. And then we'll end that Friday with Brad, which I can only imagine Brad has something crazy he does in the morning and afternoon because he is always full of energy. So I can only imagine the suggestions that are going to come next week with that topic. Meghan, thank you so much for joining Daily Drop-In this morning. I know that we're live every single morning, Monday through Friday, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch at 7 a.m. Eastern. It was really early for us, but it was super fun to catch up with you.
I know. It was so much fun. It was so great to be here and see everybody in the comments. I love this.
So good. I hope you have a wonderful day with students. Thank you for all the ideas. I hope that all of you are feeling empowered to try a breakout and they reach out to you to apply that, to try and find those collaborative ways, those safe ways that we can get our students to collaborate, regardless of all the things going on with safety. Definitely abide by all those rules, but finding ways to get people up and talking is a great way to foster relationships. We appreciate that reminder. It's so important. Meghan, can they connect with you on Twitter, Instagram? What's best?
Twitter, Instagram, really anything. It's Meghan_Hosey on both Instagram and Twitter. So connect, reach out. I would love to collaborate and help you because anything that's like engagement focused, I love it. So
there you go. All right, guys, we will see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning with Brad talking about relationships. We're going to tie a little bow at the end of the weekly theme that we've had here. We'll also, of course, have all the typical things. We'll have good news for you. We're going to do a big recap of our discussion to make sure, just in case you've missed any part of our daily drop-in, that you can take those key highlights away. And we'll have a few surprises in store because it's Friday and you know it's going to be bonkers. So we will see you guys later. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And we'll see you tonight for Teach Better Chat over on Twitter. Bye, guys.